Howdy, howdy, howdy. On today's episode, I'm going to show you how I'm going to be putting in a new garden bed. One of my neighbors across the street noticed that I was doing a lot of yard work and whatnot, so she gifted me a Arctic Rose azalea. They are an acid-loving plant, so thus I'm going to be putting a bed right in here. I have some peat moss and the vermiculite that I had from the other project, so I'm going to use that as the basis for it and just mix in some native soil. But basically, what I did is I dug out my base of the frame there that I did, put it where I wanted it. I dug around it, and then I dug underneath, which I'll show you that now. Alrighty, so it's placed down. It looks about even to me. I'm not going to go too crazy because it doesn't have to be perfectly flat, and there's like a slant here in the hill. But you'll see on the sides here, there's a gap. So I do have the soil, so I'm just going to tuck it in closer, and then that will be the frame itself, pretty much ready to go. Alright, so I have two more pieces just to kind of give the bed a bit of division. This way I can kind of concentrate in the middle, the more acidity with the peat moss. But since there's like a little bit of a gap here, like this one's a little tight, this one's a little loose when I cut it. So basically, just to make life a little bit easier, I'm just going to level out under here real quick. Just this way it's a nice flat surface to work with. Now I'm going to measure it to make sure that it's still about even to the right thing. It should be about 27 to 28 inches. That's just the measurement. Alright, so here's a trick that I know is basically if you cut it a little short and you have a piece of scrap wood, you can just slide it behind there and it'll keep it taut. And then when I nail it in, this piece of wood will stay back there. Maybe not the best, maybe not look the nicest, but there'll be, dirt and whatnot there covering it up, so. Alright, so all I'm just using is some nails just to hammer them in, just to keep things in place. Alright, so I just put two nails in the tops going into the boards on the inside, one going down that way. So now I'm going to take another nail, put it in here, and put it in toward there. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig down into this spot again, and I'm going to bury some leaves that I have right over there, pretty deep down, so this way there's some extra things there. Then I'm going to get some of my mostly finished compost, put that on top of that. This will help bulk it up, and it will give nutrients well down the line as the leaves and the other compost breaks down a bit more, because this soil here is quite silty. I mean, as you can see, it is just it's just kind of silty. It's not, there's not much to it. There's very little organic matter in this. So that's why I'm going to be burying it down there. Just so this way it will get down in the nice root zone area. There's the hole. It's about, you know, shovel length down. I don't think I'm going to get too much deeper because now I'm hitting rocks and some clay underneath. So now I'm going to throw some leaves in and then cover it with some soil, and then I'm going to go grab some my almost finished compost, put that down on top of that, and then do a little bit more soil, and then the peat vermiculite mix will be going on the top, and then I will plant the azalea right there in the middle. Alright, so now I'm just going to take peat moss, native soil. This way I can get a mixture of the two. Alright, so you may be wondering why I'm mixing the native soil and the peat moss together with the vermiculite. The peat moss has a lot of water retention in it, so the vermiculite will help the drainage. And I'm also putting the native soil in because I'm just a fan of using the native soil. This way you have all the trace minerals and stuff. And the soil here is not the greatest. Like I showed you before, it's very silty. So with the compost in the bottom, leaves in the bottom, that's going to add a lot of organic down in the bottom, and the worms are going to help distribute it throughout. The peat moss is also a great organic matter as well. So now I'm going to dump this in and see if I need to fill it up anymore. I probably will. And I'll just keep going. Yep, I was right. I'm going to probably use another wheelbarrow mixture load again, and that will probably top it off here. But I'm saying it's looking pretty good so far. Alrighty folks, so it's a few days later. I went back and remixed the peat moss with some more native soil and some of my compost that I had. And then I top dressed with more compost. Because I realized that I didn't mix in enough native soil with the peat moss, because you only want to do about half peat moss with other things, and peat moss itself doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it, so that's why I added the compost with more native soil to help nutrientalize the soil here. So it's now ready to be planted. I'm probably going to put some berries on either side of the azalea here, just because this way, you know, will be a nice little natural type fence type thing for the rest of the garden, which is, you know, right over there, as you can see. But yeah, so this is how you add in a new garden bed and for more of the acidic type soils. Alrighty folks, this is the gardener signing out. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Bye.